Welcome YouTube friends and family to today's edition of the Wellness Homesteader. I've had a lot of new subscribers recently, so if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. If you're one of my long-term subscribers, thank you for taking time to watch my video today. So I will not be doing crafts every single video. I've had a pretty busy week, lots of things going on, so I had sat down to do a craft for my fall decorating, and I thought, why not turn the camera on? So I want to share with you. This year, even though fall is my favorite time of the year, I don't want to spend a lot of money. So I am repurposing a lot of things that I've had around the house, just using some simple Dollar Tree supplies. And guys, how cute is this little pumpkin? So I actually made 3, and I am going to share with you today how to take some sort of ugly Dollar Tree supplies and make them into something cute and new for the fall season. So stay tuned. So for today's craft project, I am just using some pots that I have from Ray Dunn that sit in my windowsill. I'm going to repurpose some foam, 3 skewers, 3 Dollar Tree pumpkins, and I'm just showing you the tag there in case you want to look for the same. Some acrylic paint, some Spanish moss, also from the Dollar Tree, some cardboard from a discarded box, and of course my trusty glue gun. So my thought in doing this was I would turn the pots around so that the wording, which is very summer themed, would be against the window and not show. And because the colors I thought went nice for fall, that pale green, I wanted to use them as little pumpkin holders. So I took a piece of cardboard, and what you see me doing here is just tracing around that pot. And I am trying to cut a circle that will fit inside. So I'm going to apologize ahead of time, guys, because I cut and I trim and I cut and I trim, and it takes me a very, very long time to actually get them to the right size. So once I traced them, I tried to cut about 1/4 inch inside the tracing, but obviously I needed to do more. I realized too that cardboard not being a perfect fit would probably be better sat on top of some plastic trash can liners that you get, like, from Walmart or wherever you grocery shop. And I ended up off camera adding 2 or 3 bags just smushed down so that I didn't run the risk of getting that hot glue on those pots. The pots, by the way, I did buy from TJ Maxx this year. It was the only set in stock at the time, so I don't know if they still have them. I just thought they were super cute, and I want to reuse them again next year, of course. So my thought with this craft was I want to try to repurpose things that I have without spending a lot of money. But I have to tell you guys, these Dollar Tree pumpkins, while the pumpkins that were orange weren't so bad, they had the cheapest plastic, ugly green stems on it. So the first thing I did was pull out the stems with thoughts of painting them. And then I thought it would be super smart, and it ends up, you'll see, not being as smart as I thought, to just skewer each one of those pumpkins after I pulled out the little stem and put them into that foam core, and hopefully that would keep them upright. What I didn't realize, boom, is that it's top heavy. So you will see this fall over several times, and I apologize. I finally wised up and weighted down that piece of foam, I think with a pair of scissors, and that did hold it in place. Now I'm just shaking up some of my acrylic paint. And guys, I want to tell you, my paints are very old, so that's why I'm not particularly sharing the brands and the colors, because I'm not even sure if they're still made. However, they still work fine. So this is just a straight acrylic craft paint. I did not have any chalk paint in the off-white color I wanted to use. I think chalk paint would have provided better coverage. And there it goes again. So now I'm starting to get smart and realize, better put those scissors down there. Okay, so I ended up pulling the pumpkin off, painting half of it, re-skewering it. And finally, I kind of got into a rhythm where I would actually just hold the skewer and paint. So just trying to show you here about what kind of coverage you can expect from one coat. And again, I did have to use 2 coats. The green covered surprisingly well with just 2 coats of paint. And there you have it. Now I wanted to add a little definition to the pumpkins because they just looked so plain. So I'm taking a couple colors of acrylic paint. I had a milk chocolate color and I think it was called bittersweet chocolate color. And these are the Americana paints. I know I purchased these from Michael's, but a very, very long time ago. Not even sure if they're still made. So any type of brown paint that you want to use to add some shading and definition to your pumpkin would work just as well. And I am using a dry brush and just lightly and kind of randomly making those lines, not perfectly. If you get too much paint, you can let it dry, paint over it with the cream, or use a baby wipe or even a wet paper towel. You can erase a lot of mistakes that way. So I'm continuing on here with decorating the pumpkins, and I decided they needed a little bit of a leaf. So I am just taking a leaf that came off of another flower, and I'm trying to trim them down so they look a little more realistic, because it was actually a one-piece section of another dried flower, a silk flower. And they were very, very green. They did have touches of brown, but I decided that it would be nice to actually put a little bit of paint on it. So I am grabbing some paint here, and I believe I used a burnt umber color and just lightly brushing on those leaves. And I was surprised how well the silk leaves took the paint and looked a lot better than the bright, bright green, more summery looking leaves. So I'm finishing up that last leaf, rinsing my brush. Guys, I can't tell you how many times my foam fell over. I tried to cut most of it out. So here I am just hot gluing those silk leaves to each pumpkin. And if you notice those pink rubber, they're actually silicone fingertips that I have on. You can actually buy those now at the Dollar Tree, and for only $1 for a pack of 3. So I am pretty impressed with them because I'm using a high temp glue gun, and I'm pretty talented with getting glue on my fingers, and I'm just pulling off the strings. You'll also notice that I've reinserted the stems on the pumpkins, and I did paint them. I used a couple colors of brown, a little black, and a little bit of that cream, and I think they came out very natural looking. It really took very little hot glue to get those to adhere, but I did want them to lie flat because I want to add some embellishments to the stem before I actually glue down those pumpkins to those individual pieces of cardboard. If you notice, there are some black dots on the pumpkins. I did try my hand at spatter painting. It's been a while since I've done it. I just used an old toothbrush. And guys, I cut that part out completely because I splattered myself, the wall, my face, the countertop, the floor. So yeah, need a little improvement on my splatter painting technique because it's been a while since I've done that. I just like it because it adds sort of that country farmhouse flair. So now I'm trying to decide, what do I need to do to these little pieces of cardboard to make that pumpkin stick? And before I do that, I thought, I probably should decorate the pumpkins. So I'm just taking some random pieces of ribbon. I've tied it around, and then also some burlap coated wire. And I'm just making the little curlicues that you often see on a pumpkin. And I just used a pen, curled it round and round. The wire's pretty thin. I was able to cut it with the scissors. I didn't need wire cutters. What I will say is this did come from the Dollar Tree. It does have a tendency to unravel at the end, which doesn't bother me. I think it just adds to that rustic country charm. So once I got it into place, yep, more hot glue. I'm thinking about buying stock and glue sticks. And there you have it. So now it's time to adhere those pumpkins to the piece of cardboard. So what I do is put a generous amount of hot glue because, guys, these pumpkins were not flat on the bottom. I thought about cutting off the bottom since it's just foam, but hot glue did the trick no problem. What I didn't like was all of the cardboard that was going to show, and therefore I decided I wanted to add Spanish moss. You could add any sort of filler, floral filler to it. And you see me fussing here. Yes, I'm just gluing down the ribbon. And getting it just how I want it. I will also share, I was amazed at just how messy this Spanish moss was, so have your vacuum handy because it went everywhere when you tried to separate little pieces of it. But I thought it just added such a charming look to this very simple craft. And I used very little of the bag, and it was only $1. So I'm also trying to glue my hands and fingers to the base. I have a tendency to over glue things, but you know what? They stay put once I'm done. So I'm just working around. And when I get one area done, I turn it, add a little more hot glue. I ran the vacuum a lot this day, cleaning up the various messes that I made. And I just noticed if you look very far in the background, you can see Frankie is taking a nap on the kitchen counter. How about that? I did not even know that. Oh my word. And there you have it.
I hope you enjoyed today's video.
Is that pumpkin?
If you haven't already, I would greatly appreciate it if you'd go ahead and smash that like button. If you're not subscribed and you found my channel by searching for Fall Crafts, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, the one down below, and then ring the bell to be notified of all the new videos. Stay tuned. Next week we'll have some different content, hopefully. And I hope you all are having a very blessed and happy fall season. So see you all soon. Take care.